two.
Hi, everyone. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor, and thank you for joining us today on the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, my very special guest is Gerry Lodwick from Brock, Ontario. You've been a member now for several years, and Gerry, I want to thank you for coming on here and telling us a little bit about what's been going on in your business since you've been with the Craig Proctor system. So let's start at the very beginning. How did we meet, and how have things changed in your business?
Craig, I guess we first met. Kim actually found one of your entry level webinars in Toronto, and we attended that. And by the end of the session, we had signed up for coaching. And I guess within 6 months, we were probably platinum members. And I think probably around the 2-year level, we became titanium members and signed on in January last year for the license for your home sold guaranteed.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button there and shut my screen down. I apologize for that. What are your goals for this year? Where do you see your business going to?
Well, this year is kind of a bad year, Craig. Last year, we had our best year ever, and we hit just over $1 million in sales. This year, we're probably only going to be about 60% of that. The buyers just don't seem to be there in Canada or in Ontario right now anyways, just due to the interest rate hikes that we're seeing, and people are taking a wait-and-see attitude.
What is your number one lead source? Where are you getting most of your business from?
Probably sphere of influence, referrals, signs, but we are having some good success with our letter program, and we want to get into some Google advertising. I guess right now we haven't tried that.
What things do you no longer have to do since you've been involved with the Craig Proctor system?
Really, I don't have to make cold calls. I don't have to hunt around for sellers as much as we used to. They come to us.
And when the leads come in, explain the process of what happens. So almost 100% of your leads are coming to you now versus you cold calling, door knocking, doing anything like that. What is the process when a lead comes in? Are those leads going to you or somebody else in your team?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're a pretty small shop, so most of the leads come to myself. We do have one other agent that works with her, and we do pass out some leads to her as well.
Okay, so let's say that I'm a brand new lead. Walk me through that process.
Well, obviously, we're going to get on the phone and talk with each other. I'm going to find out whether you're a buyer or a seller. I'm going to find out what type of budget you're looking for, when your time period of buying or selling is. And then we're going to get to work at possibly, if you're a seller, we go to a walkthrough. I call it a CMA Walk Through. We take a lot of notes. We try to discover the dates of furnaces, windows, roof, et cetera, et cetera. Then we go back to the office and we do a full report for the client. Then we bring them in for another meeting where we sit down with them and we go over our marketing evaluation that we've come up with. We discuss how we arrive at these values. We show them how we arrived at these values. Usually they're pretty confident by that part of the process, but then we go into our presentation that we learned through Craig Proctor, and that really seals the deal.
Okay, so the job of the presentation is to build, credibility, trust, and authority, so that they actually not only want to work with you versus any other options that they have, but they'll actually they want to take your advice on pricing, and they're more likely going to pay you your fee if the marketing has done its job. How would you set yourself apart from other agents? What kind of things do you say in your advertising? Or would you say to buyers and sellers so you can differentiate yourself from all the other realtors?
The Your Home Sold Guaranteed program is definitely a big differentiator around here. Nobody is part of the Craig program where we are working, and so it's really set us apart from other agents.
Now, did you take care of all of your marketing yourself, or you have somebody doing that for you?
Actually, my wife Kim takes care of a lot of our marketing, as well as our admin person, who's a graphic designer, and so we're able to probably do a lot more than some of the other area representatives as well.
Now, you've been involved with the Craig Proctor system for how many years?
I'd say it's about 3 to 4, probably.
And how did your mindset, the way you think about your real estate business, how has that changed over the years?
Huge. I mean, the Craig Proctor system was a huge mind opener for us, especially for me. I came from a different type of business, and when I come into real estate, it was all new to me. And so, yeah, I knew how to sell, but I didn't know anything about real estate. And so being part of the Craig Proctor system just sort of opened our minds to different ways to market ourselves, different ways to speak to the client, different things to show the client. And it's just been amazing for us.
So did you immediately sort of get it as soon? I think we probably met at a half-day seminar. Is that where we met? Probably in Toronto at a half-day?
That's exactly where we met. And yeah, the light just turned on.
Okay, so you pretty much made a decision you were going to join up to the Craig Proctor system at that point. What things
before the end of the day?
Right before the end of the day? Okay, no. What were the first few things that you did that caused you success after that first seminar where you and I met?
I think the first thing we did was put together a PowerPoint presentation. And complemented it with the market evaluation, and we just started seeing an increase of listings landed. So that was probably the first thing.
Okay, so it really dramatically improved your listing presentation. Basically, you really didn't have an organized listing presentation prior to that. Now, if you were to go back and look at everything you did or everything you haven't done, what would you say if you were to do it all over again, knowing what you know now? Like, what were the mistakes you made, or what would you change on this journey?
I definitely would have got into Craig Proctor sooner. Probably I would have got into real estate sooner than my other career, but the presentation, what would I do? I would have done this much sooner. I would have joined Craig Proctor much sooner had we have just known about it.
Did you take any other training from any other sales trainers prior to meeting up with me?
Yeah, not in real estate. No, just
No.
in different.
Just to business general stuff. Okay. Yeah. And where do you see this going? Here we are coming to the end of 2022. Can't believe how fast this year has gone by, but I say that every year, right? But what is your goal going into 2023? What do you kind of see yourself doing?
I think we'd like to work towards having another office in Lindsay, Ontario, and our son-in-law managing that over time and doubling our sales again.
Yeah, before we got started, you were saying, hey, Craig, when I first met you, we went in and we took a look at the marketplace, and, there's only so much sales volume in your area. So you're making a decision, well, I'll expand areas. I don't have to stay just in Brock. I can expand to Lindsay. I can expand to other places. So that's great. So we've got members that have expansion offices in like 8 or 9 different cities now. How has that been helpful? Set Craig Proctor aside and let's just talk about the people that you've met inside the Craig Proctor system. When you come to the events, you come to the meetings, our parents always taught us, right? You become who you hang around with. So the fact that you've been able to meet and sort of become friendly with Craig Proctor members all over Canada, the United States that are, successfully doing this and at higher levels, how has that helped you?
It's been amazing. It's given us a lot more confidence to be adventurous with our marketing and, solicit clients a little bit more than we did. So
Who would you say if I could wave a magic wand and we could produce, your perfect avatar client, who do you think that would be for you? Like who's your dream client?
You got me on that one, Craig.
Because this is what I want realtors to start thinking about. We would all if I asked any realtor who's been doing this for a while, and you've had some experience with clients, and I said to you, maybe if I better phrased it and said, hey, give me the name of a client that's been really great for you, like a raving fan. We all have those clients, right? And earlier in my career, you see, I thought it was just accidental. I would get accidental referrals. And I remember I had this one lady who, for whatever reason, just loved me and was continually sending me referrals. But earlier in my career, I wasn't doing anything proactive to make that happen. So I always referred to that as accidental referrals. And then I started thinking about this is what did I do so right with this particular lady to cause her to be a raving fan? Because I wanted to figure that out. So I can duplicate it and, create raving fans. One of the things that we started to do with every single client, every time we sold a house, is we would survey them. We'd ask them a bunch of questions. And if the surveys, we also gave them kind of an ethical bribe to fill out the survey. We mailed them a survey, and inside the envelope, it had a certificate for a free meal at one of the local restaurants in Newmarket. It was called La Spiga Italian Restaurant. They're still open, but under a different name now. But that was kind of nice because it was a way of thanking them for, hey, thanks for allowing us to help you buy or sell. But answer a few questions here. And they didn't actually have to answer the questions in the survey to get the free dinner. The free dinner was just that reciprocity, thank you for allowing us to serve you. By the way, could you take the time and let us know how we did or where we can improve? Give us your honest feedback. And we actually did something with the surveys. A lot of people either don't do surveys and never ask their customers how they did or how they could do a better job. Therefore, they never know. Or they do. There's some realtors actually survey the clients and then they don't do anything at all with the information. So sending the surveys is a total waste of time. But we actually, every time my team would meet, as you know, every Monday we would meet at the Newmarket office and we would go over the surveys. And of course, not every survey came back, where the client loved us. If it was like a negative experience, my team and I, we would dig in to try to kind of do an autopsy to find out why was this client so unhappy. Now, why would we do that? Because we wanted to do this autopsy to find out what happened so we could prevent it from ever happening again. It's like that, the television show about airplanes, Mayday, right? They're always a plane crashes and they're always trying to figure out why do they spend so much time figuring out, because they don't want it to happen again, whatever caused that. And usually when an airplane crashes, if you watch that television show, it's like 4 different things went wrong at the same time. That's kind of how it is in our real estate business is we have to have systems in place to prevent bad things from happening. Now, the opposite also occurred. Not only did we have, most of the surveys were kind of neutral and we had some bad ones where we would learn from that, but then we would have these raving fans. And it's like, I'm thinking, oh my God, how can we recreate that? Like whatever we did for this person, we want to be, all hands on deck, looking at how exactly what did we do to cause this raving fan, and how can we go back and kind of reverse engineer it so this happens over and over again with as many clients as possible. And so for those watching our interview today, that's something instructive that you should all do. And by the way, it costs nothing to do it, because here's what I did. I went to the guy that owned the restaurant and I said to him, at that time, he wasn't in a great location. And I would take my wife there all the time. And, I was surprised that the restaurant wasn't, busier because they had great food. And the owner said, well, the problem is in our location here, just not enough people know about us. And then I had a conversation with him. I said, well, what do you think the lifetime value is of a customer that comes into your restaurant. And we kind of played around. This is, of course, maybe over a glass of wine or whatever, but we played around with the numbers. And he said, the average person comes here, probably spends a couple $100 a year. And I said, well, look, you can actually afford to give away the first meal because, by the time alcohol and dessert and stuff, think of how much money when you get a new customer in the door. So I said, I've got a good idea. Now, I don't know whether that came from me or maybe the glass of wine I was having at the time, but I said, look, why don't you give me free certificates that I can give to everyone that buys or sells a house here in our town. I spent all this money on marketing. I built all this goodwill. Allow me to send you for free that first client. And this will also motivate this free certificate for a restaurant at your lovely, a meal at your lovely restaurant will help me because it creates reciprocity, something nice I can do for my clients, and hopefully encourage them to complete the survey. And so that's exactly what we did. Now, after a couple of years of this, my wife and I are at this restaurant. And of course, now the whole restaurant on a Friday night is full of Craig Proctor past clients. So it was kind of cool because I'm literally filling this guy's restaurant with clients. So it became like kind of one big Craig Proctor party there on a Friday or Saturday evening. Any of you could do this. This is something that didn't cost me a penny. It's a beautiful restaurant. Of course, the owner of the restaurant, if you were my past client and you showed up there to redeem your free meal certificate, by the way, it didn't include alcohol or dessert. And I said to the restaurant owner, well, wouldn't most people, get a bottle of wine or have some alcohol and dessert? Yes. I said, you're never doing this for nothing anyway. Like the certificate's going to include the meal. I think there's a limit up to $100. So if they spend over $100 on food and they buy a bottle of wine, they buy some dessert, you're still making money. You're not giving. Now you've got a customer for life because the average person comes back to your restaurant 3 or 4 times a year. So these are the kind of strategies that if folks, you're watching this, you got to start implementing. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? We've talked about the fact that we have raving fans. Our best clients that we get are referrals, that we could survey them. You're going to ask them questions. I'll even tell you the questions we ask. I'll ask them questions. Like the first question is sort of a bit of a negative question, and I want to get any negatives out of the way. So the first question I ask in the survey is of sort of like, of all the things we did, was there anything you think we could improve upon? So if there's anything negative at all, we get that out right away. And the next question is, well, of all the things we did, what do you think we did the best job of? Did our Sunday tour of homes help get your home sold? Did our guaranteed sale program help you? What did you think of our team concept? If you participated in our Sunday tour of homes, was that helpful? So now I have specific testimonials on every one of our different marketing systems. Yeah, we love the Sunday tour of homes. So the guaranteed sale program helped us find the home of our dreams. This is what good marketing looks like, folks. So when we all get together at our meetings, you've got agents making millions of dollars a year, openly sharing what they're doing to earn that kind of the marketing they're doing, the follow-up strategies, the presentations, the technology. Real estate's not that complicated. Here's the problem I find. Most real estate agents, Gerry, you probably can relate to this. Most real estate agents are so busy working for a living that they don't have time to think about how to do a better job at what they're doing. And that's what the Craig Proctor system is about. Anything you'd like to add at this point?
No, I think that's great. Craig, you said it all.
Now, you're going to expand into another marketplace. You didn't have to do that. You could have just stayed in Brock. You could have just stayed where you are. What kind of drove you to want to expand?
With our son-in-law coming into the business, I wanted to have something a little bit more substantial for him to take over. So that's kind of our drive. And, you asked me before if I wanted to add anything. I think this job, real estate agents are lazy. And I really think, to be successful, you just have to do your job. But when you couple that with Craig Proctor knowledge, it's just fantastic at what you can accomplish.
Well, I'm glad we met at that conference. I mean, think of what happened if we didn't meet.
Yeah.
I don't know where you would be today. Maybe you would have figured it out. Maybe not. Maybe you would have been in the same spot. But you've been an advocate of the Craig Proctor system. And I want to thank you for always being a great supporter of us. Okay. The people that you attract for my business is very, very important. There's realtors that are not a good fit for me. And you mentioned one thing right there a minute ago. Agents are a little bit lazy. Agents that aren't prepared to do the work. Agents that feel entitled. Agents that have a victim mentality. And all they want to do is complain about their circumstances. But it's so easy to be successful in real estate by simply finding someone else that's already done it and copy them. Literally, folks, you don't have to have a creative bone in your body. I spent 30 years figuring this out. And I'm using the term figuring it out because I don't want anyone to think that I got into real estate and had all the answers. I did not. When I got into real estate, I made the same mistake that we all make, which is looking around what everyone else is doing, believing it's the thing to do. And I was taught a lot of stuff that really wasn't going to take me to where I wanted to go. And it's not that you can't make a living with cold calling and door knocking and chasing for sale by owners and expired listings, but you can't really get to where we're talking about. If you truly want to have a business instead of like a bad job as a real estate agent, then you've got to understand how to run it as a business by automating some of the systems. So leads are coming to you, more leads than you could possibly handle. You have to have a follow-up system so you can decide of all the buyers and sellers that are coming to you, which ones are worthy of you. Yep, I'm flipping that around. We're not going to work with everybody. We're going to work with our most ideal prospects. We're engineering the business to work that way. Now, if that was true for you and you had a steady stream of perfect prospects, okay, prospects that fit, they're the avatar you're looking for. They're motivated, they're ready to act. They know who you are on the strength of your marketing. They understand what makes you different and better. They're not, how exhausting is it? Like, who are you selling yourself all the time? What's your commission? We want to eliminate as much of that as possible. And then you're in a position that you can actually expand your business and eventually start to back out of your business and replace yourself to the degree that you want with other people. Now, we have some of our members that have grown massively huge businesses where they're making, believe it or not, over $1 million in GCI every single month. Yeah, you heard that right. We're not talking volume. Let me just be clear on this. Somebody might be thinking, oh, so they sell $1 million home a month? No. They make $1 million in commission. Now, they have a team. And some of you might say, well, they have a team, so they're not really, the rainmaker's not really making any money. Well, I want you to think about this. What if they gave away 50% of the commission? Would that be good with you? If you made $1 million a month in GCI, and let's say you had a big team and you had to give $500,000 away, you're still left with $500,000. And it doesn't rely on you. I want to leave everyone with this thought. How many homes could you sell if it didn't have anything to do with you? How long could you do it for? If it didn't involve you working 60 or 70 hours a week. See, a lot of real estate agents I speak to, when I first meet them, all they want to talk about is, oh, I can't wait to make a lot of money and get out of this business. Because they believe to stay in this business means trading your entire life and doing a whole bunch of things you don't like cold calling, door knocking, being faced with constant rejection. And all of that is completely unnecessary. You just need to be open to learning from people inside the Craig Proctor system that have figured this out. So I want to make mention of the fact that we've got a conference coming up in Anaheim, California. That's in 2 weeks. It's in not even 2 weeks, September 26th to September 28th. It's in Anaheim, California. It's 3 days with me and my superstar members. We'll have close to 1,000 agents from all over the United States, all over Canada, really agents from all over the world will be there. And what's the 3 days about? It's working on your marketing systems, your follow-up systems, your presentation systems. It's how to expand your business eventually beyond you. If you already have a team, how do we make your team better? What are the proper systems to recruit and hire, train, and manage your team? What's the best technology to use? A lot of you are overwhelmed by all the tech that's out there. That's done on purpose. Everyone trying to sell you tech is trying to confuse you and make you believe that you can't be successful without their technology, okay? That this has to be super complicated. It does not have to be super complicated, okay? If you would like someone to explain the easiest way for you to become more successful, it's there. Now, the conference is a live conference. You can join it virtually. You can come to California. It's in Anaheim, California. You can do that. It is better live, no question, because you have to meet all the millionaire presenters, but you can watch it virtually from home. So wherever you live in Canada or the United States, you can tune in. We'll do it by Zoom, and you can watch the live event with hundreds and hundreds of other agents. They'll be, be interactive. You can ask your questions. You'll see all the other questions in chat. Now, if you're interested in attending the conference, you better register now, though, because there's a limit to how many we can have on Zoom. And if you're coming in person, the discounted hotel rooms are almost done. Like we only get a set amount of them. Here's how you get information on the conference. Go to craigproctorseminar.com. So just my name, craigproctorseminar.com. And I'm going to have Faith put my information and information about the conference and Gerry's contact information as well. We'll have that under the video here, so you can contact either one of us. Okay, if you maybe want to ask, is this real? What's your experience with Craig? Absolutely fine. If you'd like to do that, we'd love to hear from you. So, any last thoughts here before we wrap it up, Gerry?
No, thank you very much, Craig. We wouldn't be where we are today without you.
I want to thank you for doing the interview here. And, I'm glad that we found each other many years ago. We want to wish you the best of success with your expansion plans. And we'll be doing some events here in Toronto again, probably in the fall, and be looking forward to meeting up with you at that time.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right, everyone. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor, and we'll see you again